I am the nature hacker, and this is your world. So, I want to talk about testicular torsion. Basically, how to solve it on your own. What is it? Why is it caused, and all that sort of stuff. So, I just want to say that um, I'm not claiming to be a medical doctor, and this is not claiming to be medical advice. So, I mean, not only do they want people to say that, so that not necessarily that you don't sue me, which I don't really care, but that they don't want to be sued. The AMA, American Medical Association, doesn't want to be sued. So anyway, but saying that, I'm saying that I'm not a medical doctor. However, I think that I know much more than any medical doctor, and if any medical doctor thinks they know more about me than the body, I would love for you to prove that. So go ahead and leave some comments. But anyway, um, so this actually happened to me last night. I mean, I woke up maybe at like 6 o'clock, and I just felt that something was wrong. I mean, I didn't really have severe pain or swelling or anything, but something kind of seemed wrong. My left testicle was. It wasn't that it was raised up higher, but it was it was a little bit lower than the other one, but what was going on was that it was protruding forward. It was kind of protruding forward, and it wasn't necessarily that it felt like it was sideways or anything like that, but it just felt like it was kind of just protruding forward, which is just odd. So I thought right off the bat that my my testicles twisted around each other, and it's kind of stuck. Let's say it was actually my right testicle was kind of stuck on the left side. It's kind of what I thought, but I looked into it, and testicular torsion is always only one testicle twisted. It's never them twisted around each other. So that's really important to know. So it's important for you to know. It's always one testicle is twisted, and if there is pain or swelling, it will be on that side with the twisted one. So that's the first very important thing to know. Secondly, it's 66% of the time it is rotated inwards, and what that means is the front of the testicle is rotated inwards towards the center of your body. So if you're looking down and it's the left testicle, if it's torsioned, chances are it was turned. You're looking down at it. It was turned clockwise. Okay. If it was the right testicle, it would have been torsioned counterclockwise. The front of it, on the right testicle, the front of it would have been turned left. On the right testicle, the front of it would have been turned right. So that is the most common thing. So knowing that is really important to solving it. So, if you're in severe pain and you can't even imagine working with it, or it's severely swollen and you can hardly find it or something, some of those extremes, you're probably going to need to get help. I'm not going to lie, you're probably going to need to get help, probably need to go to the doctor. But if you do go to the hospital or whatever, I would first of all not take pain medication. I know it hurts, but you're going to want to, like, let's say when the doctor is trying to manipulate it, you're going to want to know if it's getting worse or if it's getting better. Because if he's turning it the wrong way, it'll probably hurt more. Okay? So I would suggest against pain medication. I would suggest against surgery. Ultrasound, if they want to do ultrasound to help guide them in turning it, I would say, if you need to, then, maybe that's okay. But I would definitely advise against surgery in any case, except for the only times I advise for surgery is in like severe bacterial infections where it's not reasonably feasible to try to save something, like a infected finger that is so badly infected there's no reasonable um, way to save it, and I mean there probably is ways to save it, but look, we don't have cryo freezing, if world expert on solving those naturally is not around, you're gonna have to take a little more drastic action. So anyway, I would advise against surgery, especially if they want to make you like bionic and stitch your testicle to your scrotum so that it never happens again. I mean, come on, that's crazy talk. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, you're effing with human biology. That's like saying that you don't think that biology was designed right. So I would definitely advise against that. So anyway, so the way you go about it is, you're gonna want to turn it, the testicle outwards. So you're gonna want to try that first. So 66% of the time, it's twisted inwards. It's twisted with the front turning right. It's twisted clockwise. Clockwise if it's the front right if it's the left if it's your left testicle, the front left if it's your right testicle. Clockwise, it's twisted clockwise for the left, for your left, and it's twisted counterclockwise for your right. So to undo this, you're just going to calm down. You're going to want to, be in a reasonably warm area where you can, work on it. And you want to be confident, and you're going to want to turn it, let's say it's your left one. You want to turn it counterclockwise. And you want to do it like 180 degrees at a time. So if you turn it, if you first try turning it 90 degrees and see if it hurts. If you turn it 90 degrees and it does not hurt, then continue to turn it 180 degrees and then see how it is. I mean, it can be twisted a lot, but if it's not super painful and stuff, it's probably twisted 360 degrees or less. In a study, it was twisted up to 1080 degrees in one patient or whatnot. So probably going to be twisted. If it's painful, it's probably going to be twisted 360. If it's not painful, it's probably twisted 180. Not swollen, probably twisted 180. So try turning it outwards. If it's a left, turn it counterclockwise looking down at it. If it's the right, turn it clockwise. And if you can get it 180 degrees and it feels better or it doesn't hurt, then good. And see if everything's normal, like if they're both sitting normally. And you should, this is a good reminder to everybody who this has not happened to. Remember how it seems down there, how it feels, how it looks, so that if something happens like torsion and you think you fix it, that way you can really know whether or not it's really back to normal. So that's important, because they talk about residual torsion, which means you might have gotten it better, but you didn't fix it 100%. So, like let's say it was twisted 540 and you got it back 360, but it's still 180 twisted, So that's important to know how everything's down there, so you know that it's done. They will say that, we need, so like let's say you go to the doctor and they untwist it for you, and they're like, and you're like, oh, wow, I feel better, everything seems normal, and they're like, well, we still have to do surgery. And you should be just like, what? No, I will come back if I have any problems. No, I'm not doing surgery. Or you could do an ultrasound to make sure everything's normal, but I would not do surgery because you're cutting open. I mean, you're introducing bacteria, fungus, mold, spores into your body. No matter how sterile it is, trust me. You're introducing stuff. I mean, for the very fact that the skin is housing things. I mean, even if they try to sterilize the skin, trust me, you cannot. You cannot sterilize the skin with anything they're doing. I mean, you just can't do it. There's layers of skin, dead skin, the bacteria things are underneath the skin. So you cannot have a sterile surgery. Trust me on that. I know, because I worked in sterile laboratory to do cell culture, so I know about sterility. And the skin, there's no way you can sterilize it. Cutting through the skin, you are going to introduce microorganisms. Microorganisms are implicated in cancer, so I would very much, if it seems good after they're doing it, just say, look, I'm not doing surgery. I will come back if anything goes wrong, okay, or if it keeps hurting or anything like that. I would just advise against surgery. So that's my advice. So that's pretty much it. So my story is, so yeah, my testicle was kind of protruding forward, which I knew that was wrong. So, after I read up on all this stuff, I finally got the courage to try something. So I actually tried turning it inwards, because that's what I was mistaken, I guess, on a scientific paper saying to turn it, the left testicle to turn it clockwise. So I did that, which was wrong. I think they were saying left as a doctor would look at it, the left. So it would be my right. So my left, I was supposed to turn counterclockwise. So anyway, I turned it clockwise about 90 degrees. And, and this was not painful for me. None of this was painful for me. So that's how I knew that it wasn't really horribly twisted. So I turned it 90 degrees clockwise. And I got a little pain. A little bit of pain, kind of like, stop on that. So it's like, alright, so I turned it the other way. So I brought it back to normal, and then I turned it the other way, and I turned it about 180, and it seemed to be better. It was no longer protruding forward and things like that. It seemed to be more back to normal. So I think we're good on that. So yeah, so I feel fine, and there's always that thing of residual torsion. So if things just don't seem right, if I keep kind of getting like little pains in that side, then I will reevaluate and maybe try a little more. We will see, but that's that. We've had these types of problems for millennia as men, so we don't need to try to modify our biology or cut into it. It's really an issue of something being twisted. So you don't have to cut into it. You don't need to do a surgery and like totally flay it open. That's what they do. It's just crazy. So another thing you can do is kind of feel up in the scrotum above the testicle, and there will be kind of like strands connecting the testicle upwards. You can kind of see to make sure those are not twisted, that they're kind of going straight. So that's like an alternative to what is it called, sonar, or sonar, I guess. So that's an alternative to that, so you can actually feel what's going on. You shouldn't have to chop into something that you can actually use your fingers to feel and manipulate. So that is my take on it. That is my advice and understanding of it. One last thing is that it seems like it is caused by strenuous activity, or typically stuff like that. So I think I took a lot of minerals yesterday, like magnesium, zinc, and blah blah blah, calcium, lots and lots of minerals yesterday. So I think that was part of my problem. I think that might have been like a little pushing me towards the oxidative side. So today, when this happened, I took a bunch of vitamin C and sodium sulfate, to attempt to reduce any inflammation in the body. I think inflammation has something to do with it, like oxidation, and that's why strenuous exercise kind of oxidizes things, and that could be part of it. So thanks for watching. I am the Nature Hacker. Check out the rest of my channel and do work.